Hi, I'm Grant from Run.
I'm Dawid from Pure Endurance.
And we've got some interesting things to discuss. Obviously, there's this huge explosion of carbon-plated shoes, and obviously it makes a difference at the top end for the guys trying to win the marathon. But we wanted to know, what does it actually do for the average runner? And we've recruited this guy over here to give us some information.
Yeah, a has-been.
A has-been.
Never was. Okay. So with the whole boom of carbon-plated shoes, we've tested a few different model carbon-plated shoes. So we thought, let's do a test and see what the differences in specific parameters between a normal training shoe, like a normal traditional racing shoe, and a carbon-plated shoe. What's the difference that you'll get in perceived effort, wattage, cadence, pronation rate, so your gait, whatever, and
recovery time, heart rate. We take as many factors into account as possible.
Whatever, we're going to use a Polar Vantage V and a Grit X as our tools to actually test the parameters, and we'll compare that and see what we can find. And if what I actually personally experienced, or what we've experienced from talking to other people, if it actually is correct, or if it was just a placebo effect that various people get out of the shoes.
100%. So again, this is a real world test. So it's not about laboratories, it's not about specifics, because anything can be replicated in a laboratory. We want to know, does the average person on the road get any benefit from these sort of shoes? And that's really where we're going from there.
Or is it just a very expensive cushion shoe that you're buying and that doesn't wear well, doesn't last that long?
Absolutely.
So what we'll do is we'll obviously use a baseline shoe, so a normal traditional shoe, like the Wave Rider 24. This is obviously also a plated shoe, because New Zealand was one of the first companies to use a plated shoe, but it's not the same type of plate that they use in the racing shoes now. It's actually a plate that increases a little bit of propulsion, but more for cushioning and stability purposes. So we'll use that as a base model. We might use just a normal cushion trainer that doesn't have a plate in it. We'll see how much time we have. And then just for curiosity's sake and for interest's sake, we'll use the Vaporfly Killer.
Yeah.
Apparently, as it known in the US, last year sometime there was a youngster that ran, I think it was a 71 minute 21k against guys that were running in Vaporflies and 4% and X% and all of that, and I think he was third in the race. So we actually just wanted to see how talented this guy was actually to run with a pair of Crocs. Is not the most comfortable thing to run with. We kind of set out the parameters to start off with the training shoe, then the Croc, then the racing flat, then the plated shoes. But after wearing the Crocs for a day, I might put them right at the back, because I think I might not be able to walk properly after using it, or have a few blisters after it.
Absolutely. So we're going to start out on the treadmill. First, we're going to actually measure impact rates. We're going to measure levels of pronation, foot strike. We're going to see how those things alter, how the shoe alters those mechanics, so that when the real world test comes, we actually have an indication of what's going to perform where. And then we're actually going to take it to the park, and we're actually going to do loops that he's going to run on consecutive days, rested in between. We're going to monitor nutrition, sleep patterns. We're going to try and take as many variables out of it as possible. But like I said, this needs to be a real world test. We want to see if it impacts the normal person who has a bad night's sleep, and not just performance in a laboratory.
And also take into account the pace that we're going to run at is, let's call it average Joe weekend warrior guys that are buying this shoe now. There's not a lot of Kenyans, Ethiopians out there that can run a sub 2.5 hours, sub 2:20 marathon. So if you think about it, generally nowadays guys are aiming to run a sub 3.5 hour marathon. So we'll be running trying around 4.5, 5 minutes a K. We'll try and obviously run the same pace with all the shoes, and check those variables. And obviously, like Grant also said, we'll take it outside and not use it in a laboratory setting for the sake of, we want it to be really applicable, because outside, the guys that are buying the shoes aren't going to be running a marathon on a treadmill. be honest.
Absolutely. We do have a sports doctor as well who's part of the team.
Yeah.
Who will be ratifying all of the findings as well. So this isn't just for our amusement, although watching Dawid run in those is definitely going to give me a bit of a giggle. But this is some real world testing that we are going to be doing. It is all going to be monitored. It is all going to be evaluated by a team of doctors as well. So this is going to be interesting, and I think it's something that we're going to look forward to doing as well.
Yeah. And as a progression on the if this is quite successful, what we'll do is we'll take it one step further and actually test different plated shoes, not necessarily carbon plate shoes, but different plated shoes against each other to say, okay, well, maybe it is beneficial to run that type of shoe, but different plated shoes have got different type of composition of plates that they're using, different stack heights, different rockers that they're using, different foams, different stack heights, different heel drops that they're using, to see what is actually more beneficial for kind of like what distance. We'll kind of try and evaluate that and summarize that for you.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a series of videos. This isn't going to be a single one. And we're going to do some teasers. We're going to do some information where we're talking about the various products. We're going to be doing a segment on actually videoing the treadmill tests as well. And then the final one will obviously be the real world testing of the shoes.
And the conclusions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And if once we post this, if there's any questions from your side, or if you want to know more or when it's happening, if you want to come join in the run, feel free. We'll answer those questions the best we can and post all the details for you.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing it. Awesome.
Sorted.
Thanks.
I don't think